Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, and I'm back to bring you another episode review from Season 8 of The Loud House. So let's get right into it. Today's episode is Careless Whisper. In this episode, Lincoln wants to get his hands on a rare David Steele comic book, so he and his friends try to get close to the new girl at school because the comic book is being held at the store the girl's parents just so happen to own. The first thing to point out would be that this episode marks the official debut of a new character named Kara, although she technically appeared for the first time in Beg, Borrow, and Steal back in Season 7. I'm guessing Careless Whisper takes place before Beg, Borrow, and Steal, but I digress. Anyway, for this being an introduction to her character and getting a feel for who she is, I'll say at face value, Kara is very likable. She was easily the greatest highlight of the episode. We learn quite a bit about her character in a short amount of time. She talks about her family, what she likes to do for fun, what really gets on her nerves, etc. She presents herself as someone you really want to get to know beneath the surface, and that's exactly what Lincoln and his friends end up doing, although they didn't plan to do that deep of a dive into her personal life. Originally, their plan was just to get close to her so they could get a glimpse of an extremely rare David Steele comic book. When they believe Kara is never going to let them see it given her dismissive demeanor towards Rusty and Zach at the beginning, they decide to set up an Action News Team video interview at her parents' comic book store and try to find the comic without her knowing. The gang took turns interviewing Kara while each of them tried to find the comic in the back room, each of them running into some kind of obstacle they needed to overcome. I have to say, the safety measures set up in Kara's secret room were interesting. From a high-tech passcode to security lasers and even a giant tarantula, all of which the Action News team are able to get around, she definitely takes great pride in protecting what's rightfully hers. However, the comic book was not inside the box that was being protected by the tarantula. It was actually a turkey sandwich Kara was safeguarding from her little brother. Because of Zach's earpiece short-circuiting and falling out during the interview, not to mention Liam yelling and then announcing he was snooping through Kara's secret room, the plan is exposed and Kara is left feeling heartbroken. She figured out the interview was only a distraction so everyone could get near the comic book and how none of the kids really wanted to get to know her at all. You feel so bad for Kara because she thought she was making new friends, but then she came to realize everyone was only pretending to be nice to her and they were simply using her for personal gain. In a shocking twist, Kara actually would have let them read the comic book earlier in the day, but she only said no specifically to Rusty and Zach. She didn't want the comic to get dirty because of Rusty's cheesy fingers, and she didn't want Zach sneezing all over it. The Action News team apologized to Kara for being deceptive, and they admit they actually did want to be her friend. During the interview, they slowly began warming up to her when Kara started revealing some fascinating and relatable details about her life. Having a younger sibling, going down the largest water slide in North America, sewing her own cosplay outfits, etc. At that point, you could tell the Freckle gang actually wanted to do the interview for more than just the comic book. They even said they had a lot in common and wanted to hang out with her someday. They really screwed things up, and that's why I felt a little bad for them when Kara figured out what they had been up to the whole time. Well, technically she only figured it out because of the earpiece she found on the floor. This brings up a potential plot hole. Zach got shocked by his earpiece and it went flying onto the floor, and Kara clearly saw it land nearby. How is it that she couldn't hear Lincoln or any of his friends communicating back and forth with each other if one of the earpieces was barely a few inches away from her? Unless the volume on those things was so low that the only way you could hear anything is if you were screaming like Liam did, there's no way Kara would have made it through the entire interview without hearing someone's voice coming from Zach's earpiece. In that scenario, the plan would have been revealed almost immediately. Plus, why didn't Zach quickly pick up his earpiece the moment it fell out? Letting it stay on the floor practically allowed his friend's scheme to be exposed. Yeah, he probably didn't want to keep getting shocked in the ear over and over, but he could have put the thing in his pocket or something. Then again, muffled conversation and more electric shocks would be happening from inside his pocket, so I guess it would have been a lose-lose situation no matter what he did. Either way, Kara forgives everyone for what they had done, and the Action News team put together the in-depth profile for the girl who's not only really cool for owning a rare comic book, but also cool enough to be an amazing friend. Overall, this episode turned out to be really enjoyable. It may have been the typical story about characters being sneaky in order to get something they really want, but it was actually pretty good given how it was presented like some kind of spy movie with the main characters employing some espionage tactics. Kara was the best thing to come out of this episode, and you really want to see how her character develops now that she's officially a new member of Lincoln's friend group. What's noteworthy about Kara's inclusion is that she she's the only one who doesn't have freckles. I guess I'll have to stop collectively referring to everyone as the Freckle Gang, since she's the odd one out. But hey, at least Stella won't be the only girl in the group going forward, so thumbs up for diversity. But yes, besides the plot hole with Zach's earpiece, this was a great episode when it came to introducing a new character, realizing there's more to them than just material possessions, and it leaves you wondering what adventures lie ahead for them. One can only imagine. With that said, I give Careless Whisper an 8.4 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Careless Whisper. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.